It is irresponsible for anyone. Let's just say you are the most anti-capitalist individual in the world. It is irresponsible to be living and operating in a capitalist system, even though you don't like the system, and at least teach your individuals about how to manage money to sustain themselves. At the very least, let's just say, I said, look, let's, and I said to the people, what if you win? Let's just say you win the debate. In a democracy, it is feasible that capitalism could be overturned. Probably will never happen, but it's feasible. In an ideal world, in utopia with unicorns and rainbows, capitalism could be voted out and overturned. If they win, but if you win, it's not going to happen for years down the line. What are you going to do till then? What's your solution from now until the time when, just because you don't like capitalism doesn't mean your kids don't need to get fed. Just because you don't like capitalism doesn't mean that the bill collectors are going to start calling you. Just because you don't like capitalism doesn't mean that, that you might want to pay for your children's education to go to school or educate themselves and learn and empower them, whatever it is. Life doesn't stop because we have differences of political opinion. And financial literacy, as far as I'm concerned, is not pro or anti-capitalist. Financial literacy is a skill and a tool that just helps you sustain yourself. I need to manage my money to make sure I can still pay for things and eat. That, at the very core, is not on one side or the other of the argument. And I think it's a very neutral tool in my home. Now, a lot of folks will differ with that. A lot of folks will say, no, Ryan, your financial literacy is the essence of... I say, no, well, you still need to eat. People need to eat. And if you don't have money to eat, you're not going to eat. And we have to help make sure folks can eat.
And I'd just like to add to that. When you look at individuals, whether they're financially wealthy or have some level of social prestige, if you're not utilizing any of them to better somebody else, that's a detriment to society, in my opinion. Here I am, Yusef Shakur, fortunate enough to be on the radio, TV, newspaper, et cetera, but if I can't use my social status to improve my community, to stop some young man from possibly going to prison, then I feel personally I'm nothing but someone that's being pimped at the end of the day. So, and to me, that social status is a form of wealth, a form of how do I use that wealth to leverage it to improve my community? Those who may not listen to the homies on the block, they'll listen to me. How do I negotiate with them? How do I pull something out of that? I mean, at the end of the day, it may not be exactly what we want, but it's something. But it's something that, to me, that I'm going to guarantee you, it has some level of substance. What Huey P. Newman talked about as far as the survival program, pending ultimately what we're trying to do, but bringing in something to get them off the curve, get them to start standing up, getting them to start thinking differently, start recognizing like your human worth, which is the greatest wealth that we all can have. How do we tap into that? How do we develop that? How do we harness that and move forward?
After watching this discussion, what is the one message and/or principle you want people to remember and apply in their lives?
Again, here's two individuals that you wouldn't anticipate or even expect. And it's really centered around with Jalen Rose and the Grant Hill conversation, where Jalen considered Grant Hill a house Negro based upon the way he was raised. And Ryan kind of talked about it earlier, the class war within the black community. But easily, when you look at Black America, I easily could have been Ryan. And Ryan easily could have been me. But here we are, we took different paths to end up at the same point of trying to better our community by bettering ourselves. And so when you look at that, I think that's the essence of that. How do you harness that? And how do you really get back and put everything on the table? How did Yusef go the route he went? And how do we pull that back and vice versa? And then until we can be able to openly and honestly talk about those things, we're still hanging in the closet. We're still afraid to really get to the root of why Yusef ended up in prison in the first place. You know, there's a lot of guys that took Ryan's route that don't end up like Ryan, where he's at today, was ultimately become a detriment to our community. So there's an opportunity to engage in conversation, an opportunity to better us as a whole, as a community.
I mean, mine is very simple. I just think that, and along the lines of Yusef, that no matter where you're from, no matter the differences that you perceive to have, we need to work harder to find similarities as opposed to the differences in ourselves. If we can do that, then we'll begin to understand that we're not too much different. There are a lot of similarities, no matter how far apart we are. And we'll be able to start true mechanism of empowerment. And I believe that this can exist within the black community. I think this exists amongst other races and cultures, in which we can have a bit more conversations about our similarities and cultures. And I think this can exist amongst classes. I think this can exist amongst different religions and backgrounds. So if we just work hard to find how are we alike, let's focus on how we're alike, and let's work to move forward, it'll just be an easier route. And it's the better route, because when I was in South Africa and we were teaching, the one thing that I took from that, the best thing I took from that, was a sign that said, none of us is as strong as all of us. And unless we're working together as a community, all of us in the community, then we're throwing away our best asset, which is unity. And unity amongst all races, cultures, backgrounds, and the ability to work together effectively is the strongest tool that we need to find. If we can find that, we're gonna be all right.
You both are authors with books that reflect each of your respective personalities and backgrounds. Give us a brief synopsis of your books and where they can be found.
You can go to the name of the book is Living in the Village. And you can go to livinginthevillage.com. And the book is a financial literacy book, but I threw in it about 13 testimonies from people from all walks of life, from gang members to millionaires, who all have used financial literacy to overcome obstacles. And I wanted to use my book to demonstrate the principles that they used to not only empower themselves, but now they are empowering other people. And that's the premise of it, and it's livinginthevillage.com.
My book is The Wonders of My Soul, a memoir. Details my life growing up here in the city of Detroit, the challenges. I ended up going to prison, a relationship that me and my father had, and how it impacted me to transform my life. The book can be purchased online at yusefshakur.org. Right here at the Urban Network bookstore. Only bookstore that carries it.
From Wall Street to Main Street, gentlemen, this was an awesome conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.